So good afternoon, everyone. So actually today we are conducting our interview about a foreigner here in the Philippines, particularly his perspective about how he handled Filipinos here in the Philippines and how his citizen in the other country or from what country he came from, about what he can say about Filipino language, cultures, and how he interact with Filipino people. So now we are actually here in the People's Park, Davao, and we actually found already the targeted interviewee to this interview. So now we will show you our target particular person. So
All right, so good day to you, sir. Thank you so much for allowing us to have an interview with you. And I am Blossom Samasen, a second-year college student from CCSA. And I would just like to ask random questions from you, like a foreigner. Like we want to have like a perspective of a foreigner. Now, may I ask first, what's your full name, sir?
My full name is Dr. Anuj Kaba.
I see. So may we know what's your nationality?
I'm Indian.
Indian, I see. So may we know how many years have you spent here in Philippines?
It's approximately 5 years.
5 years, I see. So you've got like a grasp of how Filipinos lived here. Okay, thank you so much. Now, I want to ask at least 5 questions, and you can answer it like briefly. Yes, thank you so much. Now, our first question is, how do citizens of your country perceive us Filipinos?
Not just from my country, from every country, Filipinos are perceived friendly.
Friendly, I see.
That's all.
Okay. Now, how do you think Filipinos, us, perceive the citizens of your country?
Filipinos consider Indians as 5'6" Turcos. That's the reality, but not all the Indians are Turcos. I'm not a Turco, I'm a doctor. So that's the stereotype that is there.
I see. So may we know which specific country do you came from?
India.
India. I see. Okay. So can you describe the differences in the manner of speaking when it comes from Filipinos and from you Indians when speaking English?
I don't think there's any difference. English is English. How can there be difference in that?
How about the manners of
I don't think there is any difference.
like in pronunciation?
It depends on the person, it doesn't depend on the country.
I see. Thank you so much. Now, what was your difficult adjustments when you were staying here in the Philippines? Like your first year or first month of staying here, what was your difficult adjustments?
For myself, maybe yes, because I was a vegan in India, but then I became a meat eater, so everything was fine.
I see.
No other big adjustments other than that.
I see. All right, sir. Now, have you ever experienced some difficulty in conversing with Filipino peoples when it comes to like conversing through the language of English?
With Filipinos?
Yes.
Yes, obviously, sometimes when some patients do not know English. So we have to speak Visaya or Tagalog, and then we have to ask help from the nurse.
I see. So, how much time have you taken, to learn Filipino language?
I learned within 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months ago.
I see. So, on those days that you're not that fluent in speaking Visayan or Filipino language, what was your coping mechanism to communicate?
There is no coping mechanism.
There's no coping mechanism.
That's all bullshit. There is nothing called as coping mechanism in language.
I see. So,
Language is just a language.
okay. So, when you have like difficulty in dealing with Filipinos who don't have any idea of English language, how do you communicate with them? Do you use like body language
There
instead?
is something called as Google Translate.
Oh, so you use Google Translate.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much. Now, my last question would be, if you are to rate the proficiency of Filipino people that you have encountered so far, so how would you rate them from 1 to 10 their knowledge, their proficiency in speaking in English?
Depends on what part of Philippines you are from. If you're from city, it's good. If you've worked in BPO, it's good. If you're not from Philippines, if you're not from city, you already know the answer.
I see, sir. Thank you so much. And last question would be, what are your thoughts in the importance of speaking English language?
It's the only language that everyone speaks, so you should know English.
All right.
That's all.
All right. Thank you so much for having this time. Thank you so much for allowing us to interview you. And your participation in this group project is highly appreciated. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so good morning. I am Blossom Salmasan. So I'm from CCSA, second year college student. So may we know your full name, if that's okay with you?
My name is Karim Al-Shirbini. I'm
I
from
see. You're from?
Kuwait.
Kuwait, I see. Are you a student here?
Yes, but I'm MCM Malayan.
Oh, on Malayan. Okay, so may we know how many years have you spent here in Philippines?
1 year.
1 year.
It's my first year.
Okay, I see. So we have here like few questions, and we would like to know your insights about it. So you can just answer like briefly. Okay, so first question is that how do citizens of your country in Kuwait perceive Filipinos, or how do you see Filipinos? What are your thoughts about Filipinos?
In my opinion, they see them as nice people, good in English, and very kind people.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, so second question is that how do you think Filipinos perceive citizens of your country? So what do you think are our thoughts about those people who live in Kuwait?
Everything, in my opinion, is different. The way they speak, the way they greet people.
I see. All right, so may please describe the differences in the manner of speaking of Filipino people and Kuwait, those people in Kuwait.
People are more nicer in the Philippines.
I see. All right, so what are some mannerisms of Filipinos that are different in those people in your country when they speak? So, do Filipinos would like to nod their heads? Like, how do they speak? Do they have do some body language, or do they speak plainly?
Mm.
Yes. All right. So, what can you observe of Filipinos? Do they smile a lot?
Yeah, smile a lot.
Yeah, they smile a lot. Thank you so much for that. Now, this one, what was your difficult adjustments staying here in Philippines?
Probably the weather and the food, and that's it.
Okay,
And
so
maybe communicating with other people.
I see. So, can you give us just one specific example of the difference? Maybe in food or in
Yeah,
the weather?
Communicating with other people, like talking to the
Communicating.
security guard or.
I see. All right. So, have you experienced difficulty in conversing with Filipino peoples at first when you arrived here?
Yes, because most of the people I came across didn't know English or understand it.
Yeah. So, most of the Filipino peoples don't use English language a lot. And have you encountered someone with no knowledge about English language at all?
Yes.
So, how do you communicate with them?
Google Translator.
Google Translate. I see. So thank you so much for answering our questions. Your participation for this group work is highly appreciated. Thank you so much.